Hello everyone, my name's Heen, product specialist from ROLI. Today I'm at Full Compass to give you a little bit more information about the Seaboard RISE series, covering mainly the hardware overview, as well as the software bundle that the Seaboard RISE series comes with. On the Seaboard RISE, majority of it is the playing surface, and on the left-hand side, you get the user panel. At the very top, you have the preset switcher, left and right, so if I press, you're actually changing the preset within Equator, the software that comes with the Seaboard RISE. So going down, there are 3 faders here, and they're called expression faders. So therefore controlling the sensitivity for the glide, slide, and press, respectively, for the playing response on the playing surface. So for example, for a start, if I disable all of the expressions, then the Seaboard RISE is basically behaving just like a keyboard controller without. There's no glide, no slide, or there's no press. So nothing's happening. And as I'm opening up the glide fader at the very left, then you can hear it becomes fully microtonal when I have it on full. If it's slightly in the middle, then so it slightly snaps to the closest semitone. So depending on how much you open it, you can control that sensitivity for the glide. The fader in the middle is for slide, so if I change it quickly to another sound. Right now it's disabled for the slide. If I open it to full, then you get this effect. If it's slightly in the middle, then you're actually defining how sensitive that is to go from 0 to maximum. So if I have it on half, then my finger only have to travel a shorter distance to reach maximum. And if it's on a tiny amount, then I only need to give it a little nudge. And the third fader is for press. So if I have it disabled, you don't get any. If I have it on full, then you actually have to press the full pressure range to go from 0 to maximum. And if the fader is kind of at halfway point, that means I only have to be kind of press halfway and then it will already be fully activated. So it's extra sensitive. So having these expression sensitivity faders means you can customize the faders, the sensitivity, according to your own playing style or the patch you're using. Going down, you get the XY pad, which you very often see it with other keyboard controllers. So you have the X-axis modulating one parameter and the Y-axis modulating another one. So and going further down, there's the octave switch buttons, the minus and the plus. Pretty standard. And at this button over here is as well as being the power button, where you hold it for a few seconds and it switches on and off. It also switches the mode of the faders. So the 3 faders comes in 2 different modes. There's the expression mode, which I just covered. And if you press the power button once, then it actually switches it to CC mode, where they behave just like external faders, like you find on keyboard controllers. So if I go to CC mode right now, you can hear each of the faders are actually mapped to like different parameters. So So, I mean, these faders really are great for kind of fine-tuning each of the sounds that you come across. And personally, I find it extremely cool that you can completely change the default sound simply by using all the faders and controls you have at the side panel. Just to cover quickly of the left-hand side of the ports for the Seaboard RISE, firstly you have this pedal slot, and you can use it with any types of pedal you want. It could be switch, continuous, or expression. There's also a USB out for sending MIDI data when you use it with a computer. There's also USB-A for maybe when you're using it with your noise app on your phone or your iPad, you could use that port to charge your devices. As well as finally the power supply slot for charging your Seaboard RISE when you want to use it in Bluetooth mode. The Seaboard RISE series comes with its free software bundle, which includes a version of Equator for RISE, as well as Dashboard for RISE. So Dashboard for RISE, let's launch it. And essentially, it's a utility app that's used for controlling the MIDI data the Seaboard RISE is sending out. So if you look at the software at the very top, get the visualizer for as you're playing on the playing surface of the Seaboard RISE. In the middle section of Dashboard over here, you actually get to control the sensitivity of each of the dimensions of touch, starting from strike, glide, slide, press, and then to lift. You can control the curve. And an interesting point is these curves in the middle, glide, slide, and press, all respond to the hardware expression settings on the fader as well. So as I'm moving it up and down, you can see them responding. And at the bottom left of Dashboard, you get to choose when you're using the faders in CC mode, you can choose which CC channels they are affecting. For the pedal slot, you could specify which CC channel you want the pedal to affect, as well as the type of pedal you want it to receive. There's a pitch section here for controlling the octave, transpose, and the pitch bend range that the Seaboard RISE is sending out. And these are especially useful when you're using the RISE to control other software plugins or hardware modules, and each of them will have different bend ranges, so it's helpful for that. On the bottom right of Dashboard, you get the MIDI settings for the Seaboard RISE. You can configure it so it could behave in single channel mode, where it behaves more similar to a typical MIDI controller with a pitch wheel, or you could set it to multi-channel mode, where you could fully utilize its expressive potential. You could set MPE mode on or off. You could set the channel ranges from any channels to any channels up to channel 16. And these features are especially useful when you, again, using the Seaboard RISE with other VSTs and audio units. So for example, if you're using Omnisphere, it's a multi-timbral plugin with 8 channels available, like for each multi. So you would set the channel range for the Seaboard RISE from channel 1 to channel 8. So when you're working with Omnisphere, none of the notes will get missed and they will all be captured within the 8 channels. You could also specify which mode the pressure is sending out. So it could be sending out channel pressure or polyphonic aftertouch. Depending on what DAW you use it with, some of them receive different data. So you could specify that as well as different tracking algorithms for the pitch bend, for the gliding, as well as for pressure. So especially useful when you're using it in single channel mode, where you have to give the power of press and glide to a specific note. It could be the last played note, the highest note, or the lowest note. So you could configure your Seaboard RISE into different work mode or workflows that you're working with. The Seaboard RISE series also comes with Equator for RISE, which is our software synth that we've developed, especially for the Seaboard RISE and other multidimensional controllers. And Equator has sample playback, subtractive synthesis, FM synthesis, as well as noise, filter, and a bunch of effects. And Equator works in a standalone as well as in VST and audio unit mode, so you could use it with other DAWs. To find out more about the ROLI product range, go to fullcompass.com or contact a Full Compass sales pro.